2012, a different time to be a music fan. The mainstream internet websites such as Reddit hated mumble rap. Anything that didn't have the traditional bars that you hear from Eminem and Nas was trash, and anybody who listened to it was brain dead. I think it's safe to say we're officially past that era. Nobody even really says mumble rap anymore, and I feel like the modern day internet is way more accepting of new styles and new artists. But why is this? What's the difference between now and 2012 that causes huge shift in our thinking? Well, for starters, Gen Z is way more accepting of new styles and new sounds.
Gen Z is trying to cancel Eminem.
But why is Gen Z like this more so than the other generation? Well, the answer is actually way more insane than you're expecting, and it goes down to our brain chemistry.
It is fascinating, really.
To tell this story, you have to go way back to 2012, an era of change, disaster, and LeBron posting weird shit on his Instagram. Beneath all this, there was something brewing. April 17th, 2012, Future releases his debut studio album, Pluto. In Pluto is the song Tony Montana. What makes Tony Montana special? Well, it's the first accredited mumble rap song ever made. There is some debate on which is actually the first mumble rap song, but generally around this time in 2012 is when mumble rap saw its birth. While this was happening, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Take Care, and Watch the Throne were dominating the hip-hop charts. However, beneath the mainstream, this style of mumble rap was quickly rising. Future's album Pluto peaked at number 2 on the hip-hop Billboard charts. However, Tony Montana didn't chart, but it did peak at number 4 on the bubbling under Hot 100 chart, which is basically Billboard's charts for the top 100 songs that aren't in the top 100.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
You know how Game of Thrones has all these different storylines from all over the map and they all meet together eventually at the end? If Tony Montana is Jon Snow, then online music streaming is the Night King.
You know nothing.
While Tony Montana, aka Jon Snow, Game of Thrones' main character, is fighting the free folk beyond the wall, we're seeing streaming, aka the Ice King, grow in insane numbers. From September 2011 to August 2012, Spotify had grown from 2 million paid subscribers to 4 million. They had quickly doubled their user base in a matter of a year. That's not even counting the roughly 30 million unpaid subscribers they had at this point in 2012. But unlike Game of Thrones, this ending is actually good. Fast forward to June 5th of 2014. Lifestyle by Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan had just been released, and at the same time, Jon Snow with the Night's Watch prepares for the battle against the Wildlings in just 4 days. This might be the greatest week in US history. What makes Lifestyle's release significant? Well, it's often credited as the first mainstream mumble rap song. I remember the time. The memes were so... But I have a significant memory of this song hitting Vine like a freight train. Whether you liked it ironically or not, it's when the mainstream public started to realize that they might actually like mumble rap. And as the story of Game of Thrones goes, the Night King continues to exponentially grow just as online music streaming grows. In 2014, Spotify was at 15 million paid subscribers, a massive jump from their just 4 million paid subscribers they had 2 years ago. Meanwhile, YouTube's monthly active users just passed 1 billion for the first time ever and received one of its biggest jumps ever in growth. Additionally, SoundCloud rose from 15 million registered users in 2012 to 150 million in 2014. The era of paid for song or album is over forever.
Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
So it's clear that mumble rap has hit the mainstream media, and also music has gotten more accessible to all. It's not a coincidence that both of these are happening at the same time, and it can be traced to our brain chemistry. By now, it's widely believed that our brain is broken into 2 hemispheres. The left hemisphere controls speech, comprehension, arithmetic, and writing. The right hemisphere controls creativity, spatial ability, artistics, and musical skills. It's often debated whether this is true at all, but what is true is that people clearly think in different creative ways. Even a stroke victim can lose the ability to comprehend lyrics or comprehend melodies depending on which area of the brain they have the stroke. And it can go the opposite way. Humans naturally lean one way or the other. Some people, when listening to music, instantly hear the melody, while others instantly hear the lyrics. And often, when people lean a specific way in their brain, their career lines up with that. It's been documented that people who focus on the lyrics in music prefer specific careers such as financial analysts, surgeons, and even jobs that require critical analysis, also known as critics or reviewers.
10.
So it's been established that music streaming is reaching massive numbers. It's like Apple Music and Spotify have the dragon, and they're getting through the wall to take down Westeros. Meanwhile, mumble rap, aka Jon Snow, has been named King of the North and is building his army. Both sides are building in size and haven't been stronger. It's only a matter of time before they meet together to tie this story together. Where do music reviewers play into all this madness? To tie this all together, we have to go back to 2005. 50 Cent is dominating the hip-hop world. Let's say I wanted to buy a new album, one that I've never heard before, and it's not playing on the radio. So I have to somehow figure out out a way to know if what I'm buying is worth my money. Buying music in 2005 was such a huge commitment. If you bought a CD and you were playing it in your car every day, you learned that shit front to back despite if it was good or not. One thing that could help you make these decisions was music reviewers. No way I'm spending that much money on something that's getting terrible reviews online. Much how movie reviewers help people make decisions on which movie they should go to, it's not the final determining factor, but it helps people get an idea and it adds more opinions into the mix. Back then, movie reviewers helped people decide what to choose, but now people will listen to just about anything. The radio is a different story, but for underground artists or with new sounds and new styles, they relied heavily on critics and bloggers to help give them positive reviews, if any review at all. And like I said earlier, because of their career choice, they're more inherently biased towards lyrical music. So if they're more biased towards lyrical music and they hold control of what comes out of the underground, you're more inherently going to have lyrical music come out of the underground. It's harder to break through when you're inherently not in favor of those who are reviewing about you.
You don't have to do this.
Yeah, unfortunately I do, Walter.
This is even true to this day. Music reviewers still are critical of melodic styles of music, such as Future, Young Thug, and Lil Uzi. Meanwhile, the general population has clearly shown that they love this style of music. Now let's go back to current day. Music is much more accessible to everyone. Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, TikTok, even YouTube has every single song ever made reverb to hell. And now since the consumer can access any kind of music, you no longer have to fit a mold to get exposure. This opens up the door for so many styles, because if you can just get listens, you can gain popularity. This sudden shift in music is causing a crazy change. Everything is evening out. So the melodic styles, aka mumble rap, if you even want to call it that anymore, is rising to the mean, while lyrical rap, which has dominated the last few decades, is falling to the mean. So success of this new wave of artists has been a long time coming. Obviously, lyrical hip hop is not dead. Kendrick, J. Cole, and even Drake has found charting success by making lyrically focused songs. But the playing field has a way more variety. People have always been making different styles of music, but finally, every style has a chance to shine.